For 9 years, something inside the wall of one apartment was killing the people who lived beside it. In 1989, a health physicist carried a radiation meter into an ordinary apartment in the city of Kramatorsk in eastern Ukraine. He had been asked to take a routine measurement, mostly to reassure a grieving family. Then, he moved the instrument toward the bedroom wall, and the reading climbed to a level that made no sense inside a home. The needle was answering a question that doctors in that city had failed to answer for 9 years. Why did the people who lived in apartment 85 keep dying? The building was completely unremarkable, a Soviet panel block on a residential street built in 1980, identical to thousands of others. A family moved in that year. Within months, their teenage daughter began to weaken. Doctors diagnosed leukemia. In 1981, she died. Then her younger brother fell ill. Same disease, same room. He died as well. The doctors were left grasping. 2 children from one flat, one after the other. They called it heredity, terrible genetic luck. The devastated family moved away. A new family moved in. They knew nothing about the room's history, and they put their son's bed in the same corner, against the same wall. He began to sicken too. There was no smell, no sound, no stain on the wallpaper. Whatever was killing the children of apartment 85 was invisible, and it did not care who the tenants were. Across the decade, the toll grew. At least 4 residents of that apartment died, most of them children and teenagers. Later accounts count as many as 6. 17 more people were found to have absorbed serious doses of radiation. Because that is what it was. Radiation, pouring out of the bedroom wall, day and night, for 9 years. When the physicist's meter spiked in 1989, specialists mapped the room centimeter by centimeter, and the map pointed to a single spot in the concrete panel between apartment 85 and the flat next door. The wall was cut open, and the section was taken to the Institute for Nuclear Research in Kiev. Inside the concrete, technicians found a small sealed capsule about the size of a fingertip. It contained cesium-137, one of the most intensely radioactive substances that industry uses. The surface of that wall had been delivering year after year a dose thousands of times above anything considered safe. The capsule had a serial number, and the serial number told the whole story in reverse. It belonged to a radioisotope level gauge, an industrial instrument used at a gravel quarry in the Donetsk region. In the late 1970s, during work at the Karansky quarry, the capsule had been lost. There was a search. It lasted about a week. Nothing was found, the paperwork was closed, and the quarry went back to what quarries do: shipping crushed stone. Somewhere in one of those shipments, mixed into thousands of tons of gravel, was the capsule. It traveled to a concrete plant. It was poured with the aggregate into a precast wall panel. The panel was trucked to a construction site in Kramatorsk, hoisted by crane, and set into place as the wall of a bedroom. The builders had no way of knowing. The families had no way of knowing. A child's bed stood against it, close enough to touch. 1 week of searching, abandoned. 9 years of consequences. There is a detail in this story that is almost unbearable, and it deserves to be said plainly. The radiation field inside that room was strongest nearest the wall, which means the danger was greatest exactly where a bed fits. The children who slept closest received the most. The disease that followed looked, to every doctor who saw it, like natural illness. Leukemia does not announce its cause. For 9 years, the evidence was a pattern that no one connected. Not the clinics, not the housing office, not the state. It took a family that refused to accept coincidence, and one man with a dosimeter to end it. After the capsule was removed, the radiation in the building fell back to normal background levels. The wall was repaired. People went on living in the block. The Soviet Union itself had less than 3 years left to exist. In the reckoning that followed, the Kramatorsk apartment became a case study, cited in international radiation safety literature as one of the clearest examples of what specialists call an orphan source, a piece of radioactive material that slips out of institutional control and disappears into the everyday world. Regulations were tightened. Construction aggregate began to be screened. The lesson was written down in the careful, bloodless language of safety reports. But the plain version of the lesson is this. For 9 years, in an ordinary town, an ordinary wall killed the people who slept beside it, and every system that existed to protect them looked straight at the pattern and saw nothing. The capsule that did it was smaller than a thimble. It is the smallest killer in this archive. It never moved. It never made a sound. It was simply there, sealed in the concrete, a few centimeters from a child's pillow, doing the only thing it knew how to do.